Okay, so we have an urgent breaking news coming out. Do me a favor and share this video. Once again, thank you so much for your support. Mass exodus in Iran. Millions leave after airstrike. So Persian officials say at least 5 million residents have fled the capital since the Holy Land airstrike began. The panic grew after U.S. Commander-in-Chief post about Persia, which many in the capital took as a sign of what's coming next. It's one of the largest evacuation in the region in years and is still growing. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. We're going to get to the evacuation, but let me just bring up some of these breaking news here. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief reveals that Persia was only weeks or months away from developing a nuclear. Alright, so that's the reason why the Holy Land is striking Persia right now. At the same time, U.S. sends more warships to Eastern Mediterranean. Since Donald announced the 2 weeks, all of a sudden they're sending a lot of stuff here. Once again, the Pentagon has quietly ramped up its presence now with 5 guided missile destroyers near the Holy Land. Originally, just 2 ships were deployed to help intercept Persia missiles after Holy Land struck Persia. Now it's a full naval lineup. It's the sleeping giant bracing for more than just a defensive role. But one thing I tell you guys, 5 million have evacuated the capital. You best believe something big is going to hit the fan. So give me a second here. We're going to go with the evacuation now. If you can, guys, please share the video. Give this video a big thumbs up. Alright, so this information is coming out today, June 20th, 2025. It says here, gripped by fear and uncertainty, Persians flee the capital for the unknown in the countryside as the Holy Land airstrike escalates. For the first time in decades, many in the capital of Persia are leaving the capital, driven by fear, confusion, and distrust in their gov and the warning of Holy Land airstrike. When the Holy Land first bombed Persia in the early hours of June 13, 2025, you have Mayan initially believed that the strike were confined to military sites and homes of members of Persia elite, the military. Man, 5 million. That's a huge number. 5 million already left in the past 4 days. But in the days that followed, as the machinery of war, as it so often does, pushed past its proclaimed boundaries, she realized the destruction had crept into residential neighborhoods, including her own. The well-off Sa'adat Abad district in northwestern Tehran, far from any front line. I trusted the precision of their strikes, she told the news. I visited one of the bomb sites early on, and I was surprised to find that only the 2 floors belonging to a gov officials in the building has been impacted. The rest of the neighborhoods were safe. By Sunday, however, she was hastily packing her belongings, ready to leave the capital. It was on that day that the Holy Land Defense Minister infamously threatened on X that the residents of the Persian capital will be forced to pay the price for the action of the supreme leader. Man, that's brutal. They, the Holy Land officials, announced that the people should evacuate some part of the capital. We decided to go, she said, her voice edged with worry. You can't take risk in this situation. For the first time in decades, the Persians are fleeing their capital in mass, not under Gov orders, but driven by fear, confusion, and a deepening distrust in both their own authorities and a growing warning of the Holy Land strike. That's another reason why Donald's giving 2 weeks, telling the people you have 2 weeks to get out of Dodge. There's a possibility they might drop the nuke in that region. The confusion looms over the capital. Following the initial trading of blows between Tel Aviv and Tehran, which resulted in the passing of at least 224, including 74 women and young ones, and left around 1,800 injured in Persia and 24 in the Holy Land. The Holy Land authorities urged residents of several parts of Tehran, including the populous District 3, home to more than 350,000. I truly apologize, guys. Yeah, my cat just dropped something. Home to more than 350,000 to evacuate the capital. But according to eyewitnesses, and guys, we talked about this one here, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. People need to start leaving these huge population, like, again, big capitals like Tokyo, or, even you have New York and Times Square. I mean, those regions is like really hot on the list when it comes to biblical war. It's very important that people get out of Dodge and start preparing spiritually, physically, and mentally. It says here, according to eyewitnesses, the warnings were often vague or issued late at night, leaving many residents confused and uncertain about where or how to seek safety. The absence of any official evacuation plan from Persian authorities only deepened the sense of fear and uncertainty. U.S. Commander-in-Chief Donald added to the chaos with a message on his social media platform: everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. And the reason why, I do believe they're going to drop the hammer. They're going to drop the big one in that region. That single sentence, though unofficial, was widely interpreted as a dire warning, and for many, it was enough. By the next morning, a mass exodus had begun. On Tuesday, the capital, a bustling city of 10 million, began to empty. Shops shuttered one after another, and even the Grand Bazaar, the historical and economic heart of the Persian capital, which had remained open through the C-19 event, closed its gates. With no end in sight to the rising sounds of explosion and a sense of growing terror, thousands of Persians were pushed to head to the countryside for their own safety, creating the largest eternal migration in the city in recent memories. Man, one thing I tell you is that Donald, a lot of people, they see Donald as a serious dude. Again, they know that he doesn't play. Donald sent a message, and the next day, you got millions are leaving. So, if it was Joe, people would laugh. He's just a joke. But when it comes to Donald, people are just packing their stuff and leaving. It says here, from the carless highway to the dusty back roads leading into Mazandaran, traffic moved slowly. Cars were packed with suitcases. Young ones sat between grandparents, and pets rested in crates beside bags of documents. The Persians had gathered whatever they could and set out, heading far away from the capital. Pay attention, sleeping giants. If you are in a really huge populated area, this is something that you need to be cautious about. Because when things hit the fan here in the Sleeping Giant, the huge populated area will be the big one. With public shelters unavailable, you have certain facilities have become ephemeral havens for the displaced. Fardad, who fled with his family and elderly grandmother, is now staying in one such facility. There was nowhere else to go, he said. Everywhere is full. It's especially hard for my grandmother. She sleeps on the floor and has knee pain. We have to wait in long lines, just to use the bathroom. It's very difficult for her. And according to fleeing citizens, Telegram groups, Instagram stories, and other social media platforms began lifelines for thousands as residents from the countryside, north and south of the country, opened their homes and arms to displace residents of the capital. I don't know, guys. I just have this really bad feeling. I have this really bad feeling that from now on, again, things are going to change. Our way of living is going to be transformed. Because once and my gut tells me they're going to drop a nuke. Donald's going to push the button. And that would change everything forever. The grassroots efforts shine in Gov absence. You have this other person here, a 40-year-old woman, had renovated her grandmother's old home in a village near Nome, approximately 180 kilometers from the capital 5 years ago. She transformed it into an eco lodge that they would rent out to tourists during the summer, both to supplement their income. Now the rooms are being offered free to families with nowhere else to go. We always followed the war in the Strip and never thought something like this would happen to us, she told the news. Today I feel both sad and happy. Sad for the people of Persia who shouldn't have to face this, and happy that I can help. I think my grandmother, who's no longer with us, will be proud. Many, like this person, now stand at city entrances holding handwritten signs that read "Free Shelter," offering refuge to the thousands of internally displaced people. Man. Please share the video. This is what the opening tip of biblical war looks like. Parsa, a 25 years old architecture student, had a small home and couldn't host anyone, but he found another way to help. I was really upset that I couldn't do anything, he said. Then I saw the long clearing at the gas station and an idea came to me. My mom and I made cool drinks and handed them out with my little sister. It made me feel better. See, that's how it's supposed to be. During hard times, we got to help each other. We got to help each other. Hey, preppers out there, I know you guys just think about yourself and you got your bunkers and stuff like that. But remember, God commanded us to help each other. And those who say, well, I told him to prep, it's not my fault. Just remember, God is watching. It says here, Fariba is experiencing wartime condition in Persia for the second time, originally from Marshanir in the south. She fled to Gilan, 320 kilometers away from the capital, during the Persian-Iraq War of 1980. Around 44 years ago, I experienced war with a young one, she said. The people of Gilan welcomed us then. Now it's our turn. I've opened my home to people from Tehran. I have land where I grow rice and fruit, and I live of the produce that I harvest. I know what it means to lose your home. It's a heavy pain. You hear that? So she grows her own food. These people are, They know how to prepare. They know what famine is. They know about war. And they've seen it for thousands of years. See, we here in the Sleeping Giant, we not prepared. We not prepared. We not prepared. Absolutely not prepared. We going to be in, if things hit the fan here, we'd be in big trouble. Again, those that have no experience of prepping or anything, again, it's just not going to be good. But those Mid-East, they lived it. Scriptures, thousands of years. It says here, a growing humanitarian crisis. But the sudden, uncoordinated movement of thousands had taken a toll on some parts of the country. Northern Persia, particularly Mazandaran, nearly 120 kilometers from Tehran, now resembles a chaotic refugee camp more than a tourist destination. Reza, an electrical engineer who fled to the Mahmoudabad with his family, noted that the striking contrast. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to have to put my cat inside. Give me a second. Okay. It says here, we always came to the north during holidays for the lush forest and the beautiful coastline. But everything was always more expensive than Tehran. Now, though people have become kind-hearted, I haven't seen a single seller overcharged. Some are even offering villas for free to refugees. Still, basic needs remain a challenge. Long lines formed at gas stations as residents scrambled to get fuel, with a limit of 25 liters per car now in place. So buying bread is also a problem. Once again, the queries are very long, bakeries are few, and they're selling limited amounts of bread. Remember what the Bible says when it comes to famines and pestilence. According to residents of the northern provinces, thousands of families from Tehran have overwhelmed the area, straining the local infrastructure, which was built for a much smaller population. The poor gov planning has worsened the crisis. Bakeries and supermarkets struggle to meet demand, and in some areas there is a shortage of drinking water, forcing families to wait in long lines. Even in normal summers, this region struggled with the high numbers of tourists. Now it's a real humanitarian crisis. Young ones and elderly are sleeping in schools and sports halls. One resident who wishes to remain anonymous for fears of reprisals told the New Arab. Sagal, a young woman from Tehran, fled to Amal with her family. We become eternal refugees. We have never seen war, but now it's our turn to experience displacement, she told the news. A 4-hour journey took us 18 hours. I've lost contact with my friends. Each of us ended up in a different city. I just pray I see them again. All last name and okay, so that's where we are right now. So this is a big breaking news here. Very important, guys, that we need to pray for many people out there. But Persian officials say at least 5 million have fled the capital, and it's just the beginning. All right, guys, please share the video. I will keep you updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.